back end, which isn't necessarily the case anymore. And I've spent most of my time in the Microsoft stack. However, recently in my hobbyist time, I've moved over to the Mean stack. It's another completely different way of working, which I think generally the industry will move towards. It might not be Mongo, it might be DocumentDB on Azure. The components don't really matter, but an awareness of where they fit and overlap is more important. What we need to avoid is the media pushing us into the mindset of this is information overload, like a water cannon of so much information that we just go, no, I can't do it, it's too much, I'll just stick to what I know. This forces you to become static in the most innovative area of work today. The internet age, as I believe this century will be known, is the largest change to how humans communicate. So rather than the water cannon, we need to think of this awesome diversity as an opt-in waterfall of glorious knowledge that you can dip in and out of at various levels of depth as and when you need to. It's really, the reason we're doing this is for fun and profit and profile. The more you know, the better you get at your job, and hopefully the more reward you'll receive. In order to pull in lots of different information, we need it at various levels. Really, you want to ask 3 questions if the thing you're looking at isn't directly associated with your day-to-day job. What's its name? Where does it fit? And what can it do for me? This really puts learning on its head. We're used to seeing certification programs and degree courses that span years and cost thousands. I don't think that's really appropriate if you're working full-time. Certainly not for myself. I've got twins, a wife, a full-time job. There's no way I can get 2 years' worth of time off. So we need to change it from the classical waterfall approach to learning. Again, this is feeding back into it. It's very impressive wild dogs this. You'll have to stick with me. This works by, rather than starting with Module 1, Unit 1, and working through to the end of the degree course, you're really looking to very quick passes at useful bits of information so that you can start building up a patchwork of knowledge around various different areas. You need to stop thinking in pigeonhole format. I'm a developer, I will do this. He is a designer, he will do this. They are a UX guy, they will do that. That's not that helpful, and it doesn't engender discipline crossover, collaboration. And the more you talk to more talented people, the more you learn yourself, the more you share, the better you get. So we need to think in terms of overlapping Venn diagrams rather than the classic pigeonholes. Again, we, at various degrees of clarity, will start to build up a rough outline of what an ever-expanding canvas of knowledge, and dipping in, spending more time, but less frequently, on particular points of interest where we think we can make significant learnings towards what we're doing day to day. This leads me to my second or third or fourth point, I've lost track. Only read Bibles. Don't read 10 books, or let them sit on a shelf being overpowered by the thought of having to get through very lengthy texts. You don't need to read loads and loads of books to get a rough idea of what the discipline's about. Stick to the Bibles. These are 2, one for C# and .NET programming and one for general architecture. And you'll find by a basic Google search, generally most people will recommend X. And those are the books you could go for. Secondly, if we're not learning from books, where are we going to learn? We're going to learn from others in our industry across various disciplines. These guys are all Microsoft MVPs, they all maintain blogs, social media accounts, and that's where we're going to pick up our information from Twitter, Blogger, and many YouTube. YouTube is a brilliant learning resource. I learned to play a couple of songs on the guitar from nothing on just YouTube. There are some brilliant programming resources on YouTube for free. If you've got the bank, go to Pluralsight, an amazing repository of content created by guys like these who are leaders in their field. We're looking to stand on the shoulders of giants. Social media, still one behind, sorry. Okay, so that was the first half. Have I done 4 minutes? Sorry?
7 minutes, 27 seconds.
Okay, ASP.NET. Ignore the left half of this picture. The big message for .NET is cross-platform and open source. Next year, we're currently in beta 8 of the .NET Framework 5, or the ASP.NET Framework 5. You're going to see new build tools, DNX, DNU, DN. These three now become the runtime environment, the update utility for the new project.json files, which replaces CS Proj, and allows you to pull in server-side resources from NuGet automatically with IntelliSense. The work the guys have done on this newer version of .NET Framework is astoundingly good. live.asp.net.com, and they've been doing weekly video sessions with Damien Edwards, John Galloway and Scott Hanselman, talking about the process internal to Microsoft as to what's been changing in the .NET Framework, where we are with the new Kestrel server, the fact that Kestrel now runs out of process from IIS. It's a huge, huge change. You can now write code for .NET on an Apple Mac, a Linux distro of your choice, apart from there's one that it doesn't work on yet, and obviously all recent versions of Windows. Alongside that, like I say, you've got no CS Proj file, open source becomes first-class citizen. You're going to see a lot of Grunt, Gulp, Task Runner services being first-class citizens. Bower, these are first-class citizens. All of those things that the front-end awesome guys have been working on for a couple of years now are now first-class citizens in the .NET Framework. It's an astounding update. The second, I just can't talk any more about that, but you know, I've got 5 days worth of content. ECMAScript 6 got ratified by the W3C last month or the month before. This is the biggest change to JavaScript in about 10 years, and it really allows you to start treating it like a first-class server-side programming language, which feeds back into the idea of SPA technologies really coming to the forefront and is driven by Node. You're going to see a lot of middleware in Node, a lot of front-end stuff, really taking advantage of the syntactic sugar and the new data types that ECMAScript 6 provides. And lastly, CSS FlexBox layout for the front-end guys. I've been waiting for this for about 3 years. Bootstrap 4, which is in alpha, and Foundation 6, two really popular front-end grid-based layouts, will use FlexBox by default when they get released. So all of that nasty, floaty, horrible div mess will be gone. The holy grail that used to take an age to get right with the header, left-hand column, middle column, right-hand column, bottom footer column, that's, you're looking at 10 lines of code for that to work perfectly. Do look for FlexBox layout. And what are we now? Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for listening. You were all awesome.